everybody, my name is Dévi and welcome to Book Connoisseur. So today it is March. It's not March yet. I'm filming this in advance. We should be in the throes of the Irish Readathon currently. How's it going? Let me know. I'd love to hear. What are you reading? I had the great pleasure of visiting Ireland back in October. Now, my family, we were in Europe, so we decided to stop in Dublin. We had 3 days, and we had to squeeze it all in, and we also had my toddler. So we had to make it work around naps and whatever, but it was magical. We had such a great time. It was the first real trip that we've taken. It's just the 3 of us. Yeah, and we had a really nice time. I will share some photos here, things that I loved. One of my favorite things was seeing Oscar Wilde's statue at Marion Square Park. Yeah, it was like drizzling and it was really beautiful, but also the sun was kind of shining, so it almost looked like it was glittering outside. I took a video, I don't know if that captures it, but it was really magical and fun thing for me to see, and inspired me to purchase a large volume of Oscar Wilde's work secondhand. Which you probably saw in my Irish Readathon TBR. So one of the things I requested on our trip was to stop at a bookstore in Ireland, simply because I wanted to see a large selection of Irish books all in one room, and Hodges Figgis delivered. Hodges Figgis has this enormous room of just Irish literature, and I was in heaven. Irish literature is my most read genre, so I was very excited to be in this room. I spent probably over an hour in there by myself. My kid was running around in the children's section with my husband chasing him around. It was really fun, but obviously I saved room in my suitcase for this occasion specifically, and I have a haul. These books I carried in my carry-on back to the US. What was really exciting is like some of these I'd heard of and was like seeking out, and some I had never heard of before, hadn't even heard of the author. And I wouldn't have if it hadn't been for wandering in that room at Hodges Figgis. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. The first book I brought home from Dublin was Roddy Doyle's Paddy Clark Ha Ha Ha. Now, this was written in 1993 and it won the Booker Prize. This tells the story of Paddy Clark, a 10-year-old growing up in Dublin, and it sort of makes me wonder, was this a little bit of an inspiration for Shuggie Bain? The description kind of reminds me of Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart, but yeah, I love these, like, it's like not quite coming of age, but like sort of on the precipice of coming of age because they're a little bit young. I love writing from that perspective. I think it's really interesting to see these very serious life occurrences through the eyes of such a young kid. And so a kid who's old enough to understand something's going on, but not quite what, and how they interpret that. And yeah, so I'm excited to read this. The next book I bought was Ruth and Penn by Emily Pine, and this is a story of 2 women, or one's a woman, one's a teenager, and I should just read this one line from the description because I feel like it really captured the essence of the book. One day, one city, 2 women, Ruth and Penn. Neither knows the other, but both are asking the same questions. How to be with others, and how, when the world won't make space for you to be with yourself. I saw this on somebody's booktube a while ago and had it on my TBR list online, so yeah, I was excited to get my hands on this. I don't know if it's released in the US. I'll look into it and let you know. The next book I picked was The Amusements by Angela Flannery. This book is about 2 girls in a small town dreaming of bigger things for their life, but there's a lot of things that are out of their control. So this sort of covers that coming of age, like coming of adulthood type trope that I really love, that I think is actually quite common in Irish literature. If I have time to get to this month, I think I will. The next book was longlisted for the Booker Prize in 2023, which is why it was on my radar, and that is Old God's Time by Sebastian Barry. Now this is the story of a retired detective, I believe, coming back to work. I was really, really excited for this book. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a thriller, like page turner type book, and it is definitely not that way. I started reading it while I was in Dublin, and it was kind of slow to start out with. And I ended up putting it down because I couldn't focus. At that moment, there's a lot happening, obviously. We were really busy, so I needed something more gripping, and this just wasn't it. But that doesn't mean I'm never going to read it again. I'm still very interested in the storyline, and the fact that it was on the Booker long list makes me want to read it, because historically I really loved books on the Booker long list. And the winners of the Booker Prizes are often some of my favorite books. The next book I mentioned in my Irish Readathon TBR, and that is The Gathering by Anne Enright. I knew I was coming home with an Anne Enright book, I just didn't know which one. I wanted to give her another chance because she's so beloved, and I did not enjoy The Wren. However, I listened to it on audio, and I believe it's probably best to be read physically. So I might return to that if I enjoy The Gathering. And this book won the Booker Prize in 2007. And it's about 9 surviving children after their 10th sibling has died. And it tells the story of what led to his death, basically. Now, this is the book where I was like, I never heard of this person. She was sitting right there on this display table, and I'm really, really excited to read this book. And I might prioritize this during the Irish Readathon because I'm so excited about it, and that is Good Behavior by Molly Keane. This book is, I think, based on the description, is about like this wealthier family in Ireland and their sort of dynamics. I was getting like Downton Abbey vibes from the description. So Molly Keane published previously under a pen name, and this in the 80s was the first time she had published a book under her actual name. Yeah, I'm really hoping I get along with this. I'm excited to have discovered a new author that I want to read her backlist. Yeah, and this book, it says up here, there's introduction from Marian Keyes. So I think if you like Marian Keyes, I think this might be a good fit for you. I will let you know after I read it. There's quotes on the back from Maggie O'Farrell and Hilary Mantel, which told me that, yes, I should get this book. Honestly, like now that I'm looking at it, I'm really excited about it, and I might pick this up next. Yeah. All right, so those are all the books that I got in Dublin. For my toddler, we ended up picking up the like full anthology of Brambley Hedge, which we're absolutely loving. We read it every single night and usually ends up falling asleep to it, which is really sweet. Brambley Hedge is not a very popular book here in the US, so I only heard about it as an adult. I never read them as kids, but it's like just magical. And so I'm really excited to have that as part of our collection for my own children. Yeah, so I'm curious, am I the only one who visits bookshops when they travel? Even though I could probably get these books at home, it just feels so much more special to buy them somewhere where they're written. And I only bought books by Irish authors while I was there, so it felt even more special. Yeah, how's your Irish Readathon going? Let me know in the comments. What's your favorite bookshop in Dublin? I would love to hear so I can take notes for my next trip. Any other bookish recommendations for Dublin, please post them in the comments. I would love to share them with everyone and add them to my itinerary for the next hypothetical trip I'm taking to Dublin. I will be back soon with another video. Happy Irish Readathon. Bye!